Yo, what's good, fam? Look, if you had a point in your life where you frustrated, you struggling with loneliness, shame, fear of rejection, or whatever else is going on, I got a few tips that I'm going to give you that's going to help you to change the trajectory, because I've been through it. Man, when I tell you I suffered for years until I learned a few different things and started doing these things in my day-to-day life that really changed the outcome of what my day-to-day life looked like. So we're going to jump right into it. The first thing I need you to understand is you have got to work on yourself. And I know that may sound cliche, but what I mean is a lot of you all don't have the level of self-esteem and self-worth. And because you don't have those things, you can't attract the partner that you want. You can't go into that interaction with the girl that catches your eye because you don't even feel like you're worthy about it. Truth be told, if you really slice it down, a lot of you all may want a beautiful girl in your life, but realistically, you don't truly feel like you're worthy of it. Rather, it's the fact that you suffered a lot of rejection, you have self-esteem issues, you may not be in good shape, you may not have the money you want to make. Whatever it is, there's something internally where you don't feel like you're enough. And until you fix that, what you're going to continuously do is you're going to go into interactions, and instead of showing up and being present and giving the best and most authentic you're going to come from a needy energy of trying to look for acceptance or get approval and acceptance because you don't have that level of self-worth and self-love. So in order to change that, that's step number one. You have got to take time to work on that. So how you do that? Because I know a lot of y'all are going to be wondering like, okay, well, how do I build that? What I did was I started by every morning. I got up 10, 15 minutes earlier and I started journaling. I started reflecting on how I felt, what was on my mental state, and I started affirming myself. I'll give you the affirmations that I started utilizing every day. I started saying that I'm competent, I'm confident, I'm compassionate, I'm charismatic, I'm charming, I am magnetic, I am a vibe, and I light up any room that I walk into. And I not only just said that every day, but I went out and I started acting as if I was that. Even when that really wasn't truly my personality, I was like, you know what? If I take actions that line up with these qualities, before long, that's what my personality and character is going to become. And over time, I started embodying these traits more and more. And it played a difference because I started noticing differences in the way people interacted with me. They started matching the energy and the vibe I gave. And even with girls, I started noticing the differences. So that's what you got to do. And you don't have to use necessarily those same qualities, but whatever qualities and characteristics that you want to add or that you need that's going to make you the best version of yourself, you have got to start on a day-to-day basis incorporating these things into your life. Secondly, you have got to build your confidence. A lot of you all, sorry, I'm at the dog park, but a lot of you all need to build the confidence. You don't have the confidence when you go into certain interactions and certain settings because you haven't built yourself into the best version of yourself. How you do that is by one, making sure you look the best that you can look. If you get in the gym on a consistent basis, you eat a clean diet where you'll optimize your looks and to be in a great physical shape, you're naturally going to go into different environments and you're going to feel more confident because you know you built yourself into something, into a person that you can respect. And if you respect yourself, then the girls you meet, the people that you meet, they're just going to mirror and match how you feel about yourself. So you got to start consistently working on yourself physically. If you don't work on yourself, you don't have to go to the gym every day. But at least 4 to 5 days out of the week, you ought to be investing an hour out of your day towards your fitness and your diet and eating a clean diet. You don't have to eat clean every day, but at least one meal, you should be incorporating vegetables. One meal, you should be eating protein, minimum. And if you do that consistently over time, I don't care where you at, you're going to improve your overall looks. And I promise you, God can strike me down if you don't believe me. If you do this consistently over time, you're going to look better. And when you look better, you're going to feel better. And when you feel better, then you're going to show up in interactions where you're going to feel like, dang, even if you come across an attractive girl, you're going to be like, even if you're nervous, you're going to be like, well, dang, at least I look good. It's going to add to your confidence. I promise you. So you got to work on building your confidence. Another thing that I did to build my confidence, and I'm harping on confidence because that's such an important step and an important thing in order to showing up the way you need to when you come across those beautiful girls that you want to interact with and potentially date. Confidence is your superpower. If you don't get anything else from this video, understand that your level of self-worth and your confidence, that is going to determine what you're able to do. Point blank, period. So another step that I did to build my confidence was I started going out every day, or at least as close to every day as possible. And I started socializing. You don't have to literally shoot your shot, but what you have to start doing is every day or close to every day as possible, take a minute. And if you see somebody that strikes your attention, that grabs your attention, say something to her. Even if it's just a hey, a hello, what's up? I just wanted to stop you and say, I thought you looked beautiful. Something simple. It doesn't even have to be major. When you start doing that on a regular basis, you're going to see that you can interact with a beautiful girl and you're not going to die. Because a lot of you all are stuck in your head so much, fear of rejection and everything else, that you don't socialize. You let whatever fears and false thoughts that are in your head, and they're not real, but you allow those things to keep you from taking action. And that's what it all boils down to at the end of the day, is the actions that you take. If you want a better life, you have to look at the actions that you take on a day-to-day basis. Your actions are going to create the life that you have. So you got to look at those things. And that's another thing I'm going to get to. I'll get to that point a little bit later in the video. But for this point, you have to start speaking and initiating interactions with the beautiful girls you see. If you never build up the courage to actually talk with them, then you'll never get them. You'll never build the confidence and naturally being able to spark up a conversation, to build a vibe and a connection with the girl based off of the reps. Because I'm telling you, it's just like basketball. If you start from not knowing how to shoot a ball, the first thing you got to do is you got to grab the ball, get on the court, and start getting up shots. Even if you air ball, you brick, you go 0 for 20. After a while, if you do it long enough, you're going to go from 0 for 20 to you may go from 1 or 2 to 20. You keep getting reps in, you'll go from 2 for 20 to 5 for 20. You may go from 5 to 20 to 10 for 20. But the thing is, you get better and better with the more reps you get. So you got to start on a day-to-day basis, interacting with and starting conversations. Simple, point blank, period. Another thing that you have to do, and I did all of these things. I'm telling you, I went from somebody who was socially awkward. I kept getting in my head. I kept being in situations, and y'all tell me if y'all have been in this situation where you walking down the street, you're in a grocery store someplace, and you see a girl that strikes your eye, and you're like, oh my God, bro, she's amazing. And you want to say something, and then you start having those thoughts pop up in your head. Well, dang, she may not want to talk to me, or dang, I don't know what to say, or whatever else stuff happens. And before long, she walks by, or you're not in that situation anymore. And now you in your head frustrated, like, dang, I missed the opportunity. And you playing in your head, what would have happened if I just went for it? That goes away when you literally make an intention that I'm going to start interactions. I don't care if it goes well or if it doesn't go well. I'm just going to initiate. So that's what you got to do. And another big thing, this is one of the biggest things that I personally struggle with. I don't know what the biggest things for you all are, but for me, I struggle with seeking approval and validation and acceptance from a girl. The minute that I learn that, you know what, that's not anybody's job other than myself to validate and accept me, It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. As long as I accept me and I prove of myself and I know that I'm enough, then that doesn't matter. When I got to that point, immediately what I started noticing was like, you know what? I can go and spark up a conversation with the girl and without fear. I didn't have as much fear because I wasn't worried or afraid, oh, she's going to reject me, or oh, she's not going to like me, or whatever else thoughts that pop up in our head. Because it's like, you know what? Regardless of how well this goes, if it goes anywhere, I accept me. And when you do that, that shit just takes the pressure off of you. You don't need any added pressure, because when you're in your head worrying about if a girl is going to accept you, if she's going to approve you, you're not even moving authentically when you go and approach a girl. You coming from a space of being timid, being fearful, being afraid, and you can't show up as the best you. You cannot, all of you all have a great vibe within you. You can't show up and be the best you because you're not being authentic. So when you don't give a fuck, you can go ahead and be authentic and really give the best you. So you have got to get to a point where you don't care what they think about you regardless. You know, I'm him regardless. So that's one of the big things you got to do. And that's why I gave y'all the point early in the video about affirming yourself and actually calling out your big qualities. Man, all of y'all go in the mirror at some point in the morning when you're taking a shower, when you're getting yourself together before you step outside the house. Look in the mirror and tell yourself the same things. If you were the best version of yourself, if you were that version of yourself that could easily go up and spark up a great interaction with that beautiful girl that you want, if you were already that version of yourself, what would he tell you? That's what you got to tell yourself. You literally got to tell yourself that shit. It's so important, and I'm really fired up because I struggle so much with this, and I know a lot of you all are too, and it doesn't have to be that way, but you got to do the work and you got to be intentional. So you got to affirm yourself. You got to build your confidence by the things that you do. And then the next thing I need y'all to understand that I did was I started tracking and doing an audit of the things that I do on a daily basis. I started reflecting, okay, the things that I did today, what were they? And all of those things that I did, were these things the things that the best version of myself or the version of myself that I want to be? Are these the things that they would do? And if I saw things in my list that didn't line up with the version of myself that I wanted to be, I know, okay, the next day, I got to put an asterisk there. I got to put a star there. I need to make sure that I make changes so that I can get a different result. Because I'm telling you now, your life, the dating life that you have, the lifestyle that you have, the money that you have, the career that you have, how you feel about yourself, the person that you are and you become, it's going to be a combination of the habits that you have on a daily basis, your daily habits, and the actions that you take on a day-to-day basis. So if those things are not in line, you have got to key in on plucking out the things that don't match with the life that you want to have and starting to make sure every day I am doing as many things that I can that line up with the version of myself that I want to become. And before long, if you do those things, your life is just going to reflect the work that you put in. But you got to put in the work. You have got to do the work. I'm telling y'all based off of what I've lived and experienced. I'm telling y'all as somebody who wasn't a don at this. I was not him. I was always him. I just didn't realize it. But I was not always that guy that had a roster or was able to go up and create a vibe and a spark and go on dates with the beautiful girls that I come across now. Listen, it took a long time for me to even realize the issues that I had. And I want to help y'all because there are a lot of you all that have the same struggles, and you don't have to take as long as I did. But like I told you, you have got to start doing these things, bro. I promise you, if you start implementing these things that I gave you in this video, you're going to see a change in your life. But you got to do it. So I'm going to give y'all a quick wrap up before I get out of here And I want you all to start doing that this weekend. Don't wait 2 days as of what's today, May 30th? Look, we're almost halfway through the year. If you start putting in the work now, by 3 months from now, by the end of this year, your life can be completely transformed. So you got to start affirming yourself every day. Whatever you need to tell yourself that's going to make you feel more confident and more self-worth and more self-love, that you're enough, which you are enough, just how you are. You got to start telling yourself those things and affirming yourself, whatever qualities that you want to have in your life. And then you got to go out there and act like that person. Secondly, you got to start working on your fitness and who you are as a person. Who you are is how you reflect. So if you know that you built yourself into a great physical specimen, you know you look good because of the work that you consistently put in, you're also going to feel that way as well. And if you feel that way, that's how you're going to show up in your interaction. So you got to be doing that. And then you got to start tracking whatever it is that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Included in that is making sure that you actually start, if nothing else, a few days out of the week, when you see a girl that you find attractive, you're initiating, you're sparking up a conversation. I don't care how little, how big the conversation is. It doesn't matter if it goes anywhere. Your only job is, if I see somebody who I would be interested in talking to, I'm going to initiate a conversation. And I promise you, if you do these things consistently, your life is going to transform. So if this video brought any value to you all, I've got the Lifestyle Buffet. You can follow me over on Instagram. I've got a lot of free value that I give out that'll be a guide to you. If that's something you're interested in, go follow me over on Instagram. The information is going to be linked in the description below. And if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, I also offer one-on-one coaching as well. That information will be over on my Instagram platform as well. Man, I want to see you all make it and be the best versions of yourselves, and to get out of a lifestyle of being lonely, being frustrated, feeling rejected, because you weren't built and you didn't come here for that. You came here to have the best quality of life that you were designed to have. You came here to have the very best and to have all of the great experiences, dating, lifestyle, money, all of those things. But you have to work on becoming that version of yourself. And like I always tell you all, man, where you go and what you do in your life, that's 100% on you. And you got it. If you step in and do the work, it'll happen for you. So that's all I got, man. And until next time, peace and love.